In this video, you're going to learn how to make a magic loop. And before we learn how to do that, I want to show you why it's called a magic loop and not just any old loop. It's because of this step. Once we're done crocheting the number of stitches that's supposed to go in the magic loop, when we pull on the yarn tail, the hole in the middle of all that disappears. Whoa, so magical. All right, so get ready. You are now ready to learn the magic loop. So take your yarn hand and face the palm to you. Grab the yarn with your other hand, holding onto the yarn tail. And you're gonna loop it once around your pinky from in front of your palm to the back, just like you normally hold it when you're holding yarn. You're gonna drape it over your index finger, but this time you're gonna also loop it over your index finger and make an X in front of your index finger. You're gonna hold on to that intersection point and take the loop off of your finger. Now grab your hook, stick it in that loop from the front to the back, and you're gonna turn your hook so that the tip of the hook is facing away from you. So it should face the back of your hand. And we're gonna grab this yarn that's draped over your index finger. And to make it easier to grab, actually, I'm gonna rotate my hand a bit so you can see. I'm using my middle finger to create tension in this yarn by moving my middle finger away. If I make this yarn loose, it's gonna be kind of hard for me to keep control and hold on to the yarn. So I am pulling my middle finger away to create some tension on this yarn, grabbing it with my hook, and I'm bringing that yarn through the loop. And as I bring it through, I'm rotating my hook so that the tip of the hook is facing me again. And then I push my hook off to my yarn hand to secure that loop on my hook. And I'm almost at a stopping point. I need to do a yarn over again. I'm going to do a yarn over with the same part of the yarn, this part that's in between my index finger and my middle finger. So remember, yarning over means bringing the yarn over the top of your hook from the back to the front. And I'm just going to bring it through the loop on my hook. And remember, try to rotate your hook down 90 degrees so it mimics the shape of that loop to make it a little easier to bring your hook through. And then to secure that loop on your hook, remember to push the hook off to your yarn hand. And if you've done all this correctly, if you let go of that intersection point with your yarn hand, everything should stay intact. Nothing should fall apart. Hooray! And now we're already in the position that we need to be in to keep on crocheting. The important thing to note here is that you want the yarn tail to be on the half of the circle or of the loop that is closer to your yarn hand. And you're gonna always keep it there because you're gonna crochet over both that side of the circle and the yarn tail. So what do I mean by this? Well, let's get back into crocheting position. This time, you're gonna wanna hold on to the loop as well as the yarn tail with your thumb and your middle finger. And you leave like the top half of the loop exposed so that you have space to put your hook in there. And you wanna try to keep everything as flat as possible. Do not let the piece twist around. Stick your hook in that loop from the front to the back. And now you're in a familiar place here. See, it looks like you've got 3 strands of yarn over your hook. That's because the third one is that yarn tail that's off to the side of your yarn hand. We're gonna do a yarn over, pull that yarn back through the loop. So you're gonna pull that yarn under just 2 of the loops that were on your hook. So you should be left with 2 loops on your hook. And then yarn over again and pull it through both loops on the hook. So we just did a single crochet stitch like you have been doing, all these single crochet stitches. The only difference is where we had put our hook in to start. And for this pattern, we are going to be doing 3 single crochet stitches in the magic loop. So we made 1. We're gonna do a second one by repeating it. Stick the hook in the loop, the top half of that loop. So it looks like you've got 3 strands of yarn on your hook. Yarn over, pull that yarn through just the first 2 strands of yarn on your hook. So you're left with 2 loops on your hook. yarn over again and bring it through both loops on the hook. And see how I am throughout the entire thing holding on to both the yarn tail and the loop with my thumb and my middle finger. I'm going to do it one last time, one last single crochet stitch. And we're done. Okay, so I guess before we're done, we are done with the single crochet stitches. Now it is time to do that magical part. So pull your hook away from your piece so that the loop for your hook gets real big. Don't want to lose all the hard work that we just did. Hold on to the stitches you made with one hand and then pull on the yarn tail with the other so that that loop that you had been holding with your yarn hand disappears completely. And there you have it. This is a magic loop with 3 single crochet stitches in it. Don't worry about the fact that it doesn't form a complete circle yet. When you work in the next stitch of the next round, or I guess the first stitch of the next round, that's what's going to complete it all.